Suyu felt the spiritual energy within his body and couldn't believe it as he checked his dantian. Instantly, Suyu was stunned on the spot. His dantian had fully recovered, with spiritual energy swirling around. My dantian has recovered. My dantian has actually recovered. This is simply unbelievable. At this moment, Suyu felt a great burden lifted. If it were before, Suyu really didn't know how he could take revenge on the Zhang family. After all, he had become a waste, unable to even defeat a servant of the Zhang family. To seek revenge would be as difficult as climbing to the heavens. But now, with his dantian restored, revenge is just around the corner. Zhang family, wait for me, I will eventually make you vanish from Kanglan City. Zhang Wenbin, I will make you suffer more than death. Suyu had never hated anyone so much. Being expelled from the family by the Zhangs, he saw them as a group of ungrateful and heartless people. But Zhang Wenbin was absolutely a traitor, unworthy of being a person. What is this? After checking his internal condition, Suyu discovered a jade bead floating above his dantian. The jade bead was spinning in place, automatically absorbing spiritual energy and storing it within the bead. Suyu was puzzled. Isn't this the jade bead my parents left me? How did it appear inside my body? The next moment, the jade bead generated a powerful pulling force, directly dragging Suyu's consciousness into it. Suyu felt a sudden darkness before his eyes, and then he appeared in another realm. In front of him, a black sword came into view, surrounded by an unknown gas, floating in the void. Suyu was shocked by what he saw. What is this place? Why is there a sword floating? Looking around, he found nothing but darkness, with only the black sword and the unknown gas visible in the air. Could this be inside the jade bead? The next moment, Suyu left the jade bead, and in his consciousness, he felt a new connection to the jade bead. Trying it out, Suyu controlled the jade bead to stop absorbing spiritual energy. Indeed, the jade bead instantly stopped spinning and ceased absorbing spiritual energy. Seeing this, Suyu was slightly startled, then controlled the jade bead to transfer the absorbed spiritual energy to his dantian. At the same time, he circulated his dantian, absorbing spiritual energy. The spiritual energy from two different sources converged into his dantian and settled within. Suyu was dumbfounded. This jade bead actually has such an effect. It's like Suyu has two dantians, able to absorb spiritual energy simultaneously and converge it into his main dantian. This way, his cultivation speed is twice as fast as others. And the amount of spiritual energy he possesses is much more than double that of a martial artist of the same realm. Afterward, Suyu tried again to communicate with the floating sword, but the sword remained motionless, still suspended in the air. After several attempts, he still failed, and had no choice but to give up. Even so, a smile still appeared on Suyu's face. Although he didn't know what the sword inside the jade bead was for, from the fact that the jade bead restored his dantian and doubled his cultivation speed, the sword must be an extraordinary treasure. Brother, what are you smiling about? Su Linger, who didn't know what had happened, still had a tearful tone as she asked, puzzled. Suyu quickly came to his senses and then said excitedly, Sister, my dantian has recovered. I can continue my cultivation. Upon hearing this, Su Linger was first stunned, then said dejectedly, Brother, you're lying. Suyu was first stunned, then quickly realized. It had been only a short while since he was bullied by Zhang Wenbin, and Suyu hadn't done anything, suddenly claiming his Danshan had recovered. Even if it were Suyu, he wouldn't have believed it. Suyu immediately stood up, his spiritual energy circulating. The aura of the 6th level of the Condensation Qi Realm burst forth, and he swung his palm. Boom! The ground sank, and a palm print was clearly visible. Su Linger was directly stunned on the spot, her crying abruptly stopping, her face full of shock. After being stunned for a while, she burst into tears of joy, forgetting the humiliation she had just endured. Brother, you really have recovered. That's great. That's great. Feeling the strength of the 6th level of the Condensation Qi Realm within his body, Suyu also smiled. In the Zuan King continent, cultivation requires first tempering the skin, tendons, and bones. Only then can one sense the spiritual energy of heaven and earth and enter the Condensation Qi Realm. Above the Condensation Qi Realm are the postnatal realm, prenatal realm, Master Realm, Grand Master Realm, Holy King Realm, Holy Emperor Realm, Holy Respected Realm, Heaven Realm, and Imperial Realm. Each realm is divided into 9 levels, and the higher the level, the more difficult it is to advance. Brother, let's move quickly. I don't want to stay here another moment, Su Linger said, blinking her big, watery eyes. Suyu nodded in agreement. This place was indeed not a place to stay long, and he didn't know if Zhang Wenbin would return. But this was the Zhang family's territory, and in any conflict, he would always be at a disadvantage. Subsequently, the two of them took some daily necessities and left the Zhang family. In a secluded alley in Kanglan City, Suyu pushed open the gate to a courtyard. His sister, who was following behind, quickly walked in, her face full of joy. It was clear that she was very happy. Suyu looked at every familiar corner, feeling a touch of emotion. This was the place where they had grown up, and it hadn't changed at all. Since his parents left and he joined the Zhang family, he had rarely returned here. Only occasionally, when he had free time, would he come back to clean the courtyard and house to prevent decay. But he wouldn't stay long before leaving again. Now, back on their own territory, Suyu felt a sense of comfort, and a faint smile appeared on his lips. Su Linger also cheered and laughed, saying, "Brother, we'll live here from now on, and we'll never move again." Suyu nodded and replied, "Okay, we'll live here from now on, and we'll never move again." As they finished speaking, the two of them looked at each other and smiled, their eyes sparkling. It was already noon, and Suyu's stomach was growling with hunger. Su Linger's stomach also began to rumble at this moment. Su Linger blushed and then said, "Brother, I'm hungry, I want to eat meat." Suyu's face showed embarrassment. This courtyard had been uninhabited for years, and the house was completely empty, with no food to cook. When the two of them left the Zhang family, they were penniless and had no money to buy food. After a moment's thought, Suyu decided to enter the 10,000 Beast Mountains to hunt beasts and exchange the money for food. Now that his realm had been restored, he felt no fear at all. "Okay. Wait for me obediently at home. I'll go and buy you some meat to eat." "Okay." Su Linger nodded her little head very obediently and agreed. Suyu then walked out of the courtyard and headed straight for the 10,000 Beast Mountains outside the city. The 10,000 Beast Mountains are not far from Kanglan City, It only takes a short while to reach them. In the mountains, countless beasts live, and the more powerful the beast, the deeper it lives in the mountains. The more powerful the beast, the more valuable its corpse, as all parts of its body are fully utilized for alchemy, containers, and clothing. Therefore, all major families train their own beast hunting teams to enter the 10,000 beast mountains to hunt beasts and gain huge profits. The realms of beasts are divided into level 1 beasts, level 2 beasts, level 3 beasts, up to level 9 beasts. Level 1 beasts are the lowest, and level 9 beasts are the highest, corresponding to the 9 major realms of martial artists. However, each realm of beasts is further divided into early, middle, and late stages. Early stage is equivalent to the first 3 stages of martial artists, middle stage to the middle 3 stages, and late stage to the last 3 stages. Suyu is currently at the 6th stage of the Condensing Qi Realm, so his target is early and middle stage level 1 beasts. After entering the 10,000 beast mountains, Suyu raised his vigilance and constantly observed his surroundings for any traces of beasts. Having fought beasts for many years, he had seen too many hunters ambushed and killed by beasts, so Suyu was extremely cautious. All around, towering trees as thick as 3 people hugging them could be seen everywhere, their lush leaves blocking out the sky, making the mountains slightly dark even at noon. Suyu walked every step with extreme caution. After a short while, he finally stopped and looked around. He then made a cut on his palm, and crimson blood seeped out and dripped to the ground, spreading a strong scent of blood. After bandaging the wound with a piece of torn clothing, Suyu leaped onto a towering ancient tree and waited quietly. The scent of blood is extremely sensitive to beasts, especially carnivorous beasts, which will rush over as soon as they smell it. Suyu did not let too much blood drip, as a stronger scent would attract more powerful beasts. This time, Suyu's target was only an early or middle stage level 1 beast. Sure enough, after a short while, a disturbance was heard not far away, and a beast with a blood-red mouth quickly ran towards Suyu. Seeing this, Suyu's pupils constricted, and his face showed a serious expression. A Blood Fiend Wolf. A middle-stage level 1 beast, extremely fast and powerful, and capable of biting through a neck with a single bite, making it very dangerous. Suyu hesitated for a moment, unsure whether to choose the Blood Fiend Wolf as his prey. However, just as he was hesitating, the Blood Fiend Wolf had already reached the bloodstain, and the moment for a sneak attack had arrived. If he missed it, there would be no second chance. Suyu's expression turned resolute, and he decided to give it his all. The Blood Fiend Wolf stopped at the bloodstain, lowered its head to sniff, but found no prey. Realizing it had been deceived, it let out a roar to the sky. Roar! Suyu descended from the sky, channeling spiritual energy into his fists and smashing them toward the Blood Fiend Wolf's head. The Blood Fiend Wolf couldn't dodge in time and was hit directly on the head, its body slamming into the ground and stirring up a cloud of dust. Boom! Without any hesitation, Suyu kicked again, aiming for the Blood Fiend Wolf. However, the Blood Fiend Wolf, which had been knocked to the ground, suddenly stood up and dodged, then opened its blood-red mouth and bit towards Suyu's neck. Suyu hadn't expected to kill the Blood Fiend Wolf with a single punch, as beasts have tough skin and are resistant to attacks. At the same realm, it's impossible to kill with one move. Therefore, Suyu never let his guard down, and he dodged the Blood Fiend Wolf's teeth, then exerted force with his legs. He leaped into the air and swung his fists again. The Blood Fiend Wolf, which had been hit, was bleeding from its head and mouth, and its eyes were cold and emotionless. Seeing Suyu in the air, its sharp teeth were exposed, and it also leaped into the air, aiming its teeth at Suyu's fists. Suyu quickly changed his fists to a kick and struck the Blood Fiend Wolf's head. The Blood Fiend Wolf's body stopped in mid-air and began to fall. Boom! The corpse hit the ground, and a wolf-shaped indentation appeared. Suyu landed on his feet and, without stopping, rushed toward the Blood Fiend Wolf. Roar! Roar! After standing up, the Blood Fiend Wolf began to howl wildly. Suyu landed and struck the Blood Fiend Wolf's neck with his knee. Crack! The Blood Fiend Wolf's neck bones snapped, and its breath stopped, turning it into a corpse. Even so, Suyu still didn't dare to stop, and he carried the corpse of the Blood Fiend Wolf and leaped onto a towering ancient tree. The next moment, the surrounding trees trembled, and a large number of leaves fell. A group of Blood Fiend Wolves rushed toward this area. The howl from the deep pit was a call for the pack to come to its aid. Wolves are social animals, and the pack would not be far away, which was one of the reasons Suyu had hesitated earlier. Fortunately, this Blood Fiend Wolf had only recently advanced to the middle stage of level 1 beast, or it would have been impossible for Suyu to defeat it so easily. However, just as Suyu was about to leave with the corpse of the Blood Fiend Wolf, the jade bead in his body began to spin rapidly, and a large amount of blood rushed into the bead. The corpse of the Blood Fiend Wolf visibly shriveled. Suyu was shocked by the sight. Before he could recover, the corpse of the Blood Fiend Wolf had already turned into a pile of skin and bones, looking like a dried-up corpse that had been drained of blood and exposed to the sun for days.